All right, yesterday with our notes for how a bill becomes a law, essential question 18, we left off somewhere down in this area right here, down here where we're in the second house. If you remember, anybody can have an idea. They just have to call a Congress member because Congress makes the laws. Congress member is going to introduce it to his house of the legislature, whether it's the House of Reps or the Senate. The leadership's going to put it in a committee. From the committee, the bill can either be accepted or killed. If it's accepted, it goes on to the whole House or Senate for a vote, and they just need a majority vote. It's then sent to the other house, and the same process takes place. I'll move this up here. When it's accepted in the second house, it says it has to go to a conference committee, and I believe that's where most of the classes left off in the morning. If you remember a conference committee, we said we compared it to parent-teacher conferences. It was two different groups talking about the same thing. A conference committee here is a type of joint committee where senators from the Senate and representatives from the House of Reps will come together to discuss the two different versions of the bill that they have passed. By that, what we mean is, in my example yesterday, in most classes, I might not have got to it in first hour, but we said, what if a representative brought a bill to the floor on airline pilots should not be able to fly once they reach the age of 70 years old? That bill passes through the House and it eventually ends up in the Senate. In the Senate, they may amend that bill to make it where the age drops to 60 years old and you have to retire. If that were to happen, we'd have two different bills, one saying at 70 years old you have to retire and one at 60 years old you have to retire. That's a problem. We can't send two different bills to the president. So the conference committee would come together and bring those two bills together, and hopefully they would find a compromise. Here, the logical one would be 65 years old, you have to retire. If they come to that compromise, now that bill has to be repassed in both the House and the Senate, since it's a different version than they already passed. So the conference committee takes two versions of the bill and combines it into one. Now it goes to both houses for a vote once again. If in both houses it is approved, it is now a bill that has been passed in both houses in the same form, and it is sent to the president to be signed or vetoed. However, if that bill gets one of the two houses that says, I do not like this bill anymore, even though, and I'm going to scroll up here, even though we've went through all this work here in the House and all this work here in the Senate, and we've went through this conference committee, if one house decides now they don't like this bill, the bill is dead and it is thrown out. Remember, that is all about making sure only good bills get passed in our government. But if the bill were to get a majority vote, we're still in a majority vote here in both houses. Now it goes to the president. He can sign the bill, and if the president signs this bill now, it becomes a new U.S. law. However, if the president vetoes this bill, whether he just thinks it's unconstitutional or unfair or unethical, or if he thinks this bill is too costly, or if it just goes against everything he believes in, the president can veto this bill, and in doing so now, Congress has their chance to check his power. This is one of the president's checks on Congress. Now they have a chance to use one of their checks on him. If the Congress can get a 2/3 vote, now we go to 2/3 vote. We haven't used a 2/3 vote through any of this. It's all been majority. But now after he vetoes it, they can overrule his veto, but they need that higher vote. They need that 2/3 vote, which in the House of Reps is a number math-wise I can't figure out right now off the top of my head. In the Senate, it's 67 of 100 votes. But they have to get that 2/3 vote in both the House and the Senate. If they do that, it becomes a law. If even one of the houses doesn't get a 2/3 vote, if one does and the other doesn't, the bill is dead. We've went through all this work, but the president vetoed it. They couldn't get a 2/3 vote. The bill is dead. One of the key things here with a bill becoming a law is that there are many, many places for the bill to die. There's one right here. There's one right here. There's one up here. There's one over here, another one up here, another one right here. There are 6 places here where this bill can die, and it's all because we don't want a bill to pass if it's not a good bill, if it's not going to be a good law. We want to make sure that our checks and balances works in many different ways in the process of a bill becoming a law so that only good laws are passed. So there's our steps in how a bill becomes a law. We're going to pass out this copy now for you to use. Keep it, study it. On the test in the past, this has been a short answer question, and you have had to explain as many steps in this process as you can. I can tell you that the major steps are someone has an idea, someone calls their congressman, the congressman introduces it, say that the bill goes to a committee, it's approved, it's voted on by the entire House with a majority vote, goes to the other House of Congress, and the same steps take place. They combine the two versions of the bill into one. It's re-voted on with a majority vote, goes to the president, he either signs or vetoes it. If he signs it, it's a law. If he vetoes it, go through the steps it needs to take to still become a law. If you know those steps, you're going to be fine, but keep these notes so you can have that. We're going to watch some videos here now real quick. One video is the famous Schoolhouse Rock video of I'm Just a Bill. It's a very good video in terms of it gives us all of the steps we just went through, except I believe the version here of a committee, of a conference committee, sorry. So watch it. That'll be a good video to watch. And then the second video is one I made years ago called We're Making Laws and I Know It. It's to the tune by the LMFAO song, I'm Sexy and I Know It. It's got me in it. Enjoy that. It's got all the steps that we have. And I'll put this on Google Classroom, so if you want to use it to study, it's there for you. After we watch the videos, there'll be a writing assignment, and tomorrow we are going to take a quiz over all this info, and we'll probably be getting ready to take a test over all this sometime early next week. If not Tuesday, then Wednesday. All right, enjoy these videos. Here they are. All right, here's the first video for I'm Just a Bill.
As your body grows bigger, your mind gets smaller. It's great to learn, 'cause knowledge is power. It's Schoolhouse Rocky, with Chip on the block, of your favorite Schoolhouse Talk. I'm just a Bill.
Whew, you sure gotta climb a lot of steps to get to this Capitol building here in Washington. Well, I wonder who that sad little scrap of paper is.
I'm just a Bill. Yes, I'm only a Bill. And I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill. Well, it's a long, long journey to the capital city. It's a long, long wait while I'm sitting in committee. But I know I'll be a law someday. At least I hope and pray that I will. But today I am still just a Bill.
Gee, Bill, you certainly have a lot of patience and courage.
Well, I got this far. When I started, I wasn't even a bill. I was just an idea. Some folks back home decided they wanted a law passed, so they called their local congressman, and he said, "You're right, there ought to be a law." Then he sat down and wrote me out and introduced me to Congress, and I became a bill. And I'll remain a bill until they decide to make me a law. I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill. And I got as far as Capitol Hill. Well, now I'm stuck in committee, and I'll sit here and wait while a few key congressmen discuss and debate whether they should let me be a law. I hope and pray that they will, but today I am still just a bill.
Listen to those congressmen arguing. Is all that discussion and debate about you?
Yeah, I'm one of the lucky ones. Most bills never even get this far. I hope they decide to report on me favorably, otherwise I may die.
Die?
Yeah, die in committee. Oh, but it looks like I'm going to live. Now I go to the House of Representatives and they vote on me.
If they vote yes, what happens?
Then I go to the Senate and the whole thing starts all over again.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill. And if they vote for me on Capitol Hill, well, then I'm off to the White House where I'll wait in our line with a lot of other bills for the president to sign. And if he signs me, then I'll be a law. I hope and pray that he will. But today I am still just a bill.
You mean even if the whole Congress says you should be a law, the president can still say no?
Yes, that's called a veto. If the president vetoes me, I have to go back to Congress and they vote on me again, and by that time you're so
By
old.
that time, it's very unlikely that you become a law. It's not easy to become a law, is it?
No, but how I hope and pray that I will. But today I am still just a bill. He signed your bill. Now you're a law. Oh, yes.
All right, there was I'm Just a Bill. The greatest ending in the world there. Oh, yes. That's just the best. Gets me every time. All right, here's the next video. This is me singing We're Making Laws and I Know It. All right, here we go with Making Laws and I Know It.
Yeah. Yeah. When I have an idea, Congressmen say, let me introduce it here. Then it's time for committee, bills alive, not dead, approve majority, yeah. Now to the House floor, representatives debate, here we go. Majority is needed to move along, here comes the Senate, and repeat the song, yo. 435 reps vote, 100 senators vote, our Congressmen make laws, with the majority vote. 135 reps vote, 100 senators vote, our Congress makes laws, with the majority vote. We want a better country, this is what we do. Our bicameral Congress makes laws for you. It's got separation of powers and it's not afraid to show it, show it, show it, show it. We're making laws and I know it. We're making laws and I know it. Yeah. When they're in D.C., bicameral Congress works for me. Legislation made all day, House and Senate approved with the yay. Why? But when we see is two bill versions there, maybe we head to a committee conference, it's called Combined Revote. Move on, no stall. Boom! Quickly to the next branch, send it to the press, send it to Barack, sign the bill into law. Send it to the next branch, send it to the press, send it to Barack, sign the bill into law. If we want a better country, this is what we do. Our bicameral Congress makes laws for you. It's got checks and balances and it's not afraid to show it, show it, show it, show it. We're making laws and I know it. We're making laws and I know it. Check it out. Check it out. Oh no! Veto, 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 no. Veto, 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 no. Veto, 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 no. Veto, 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 no, no. If Congress decides, we'll vote to override. Yeah, we're making laws and I know it. Hey! Yeah! Idea turned into bill. Committee votes and approves. Majority votes in one house. Do it again. Combined two versions of bill. Conference committee had vote. Positive votes are vetoed. Override. We're making laws that I know it fails. No, no.
Well, all right, and there was Making Laws and I Know It. All right, we're going to stop the video here, and there'll be an assignment for you guys to work on. And like we said, some kind of quiz or review coming up tomorrow. If I decide here after giving this video that I feel like taking the quiz right now, we might take a quiz right now just to see what we know, and then take another one tomorrow to see if we know any more. So however it turns out, see you back tomorrow. Last day of school this week. See ya.